My name is Esther Caporal, and I've been teaching English as a second language in Beverly Hills since 1998. I also work as a dialect coach for foreign actors for film, television, and stage productions. I use the same technique and the same materials in our English as a second language program that I use for actors and for all my other pronunciation work. After all, when you use English in your daily life, you're performing also. Our City of Beverly Hills sponsored English classes offer accent reduction, grammar, literature study, and we embrace over 32 foreign languages, depending on who's in town at the time. But one of the biggest pronunciation challenges I have noticed that cross all country and language borders is the proper pronunciation of the letter S, particularly when it's at the ends of words. Whether you need English for personal or professional use, controlling this one little letter is a crucial element in controlling English itself. Because English is not a phonetic language, we don't always spell a word the way we say it, and it can seem very overwhelming because we're hoping to follow the spelling. Well, we can't change the spelling of the English language, but we can start with the study of the rules that make us more intelligible and more correct. Today's session will present how to correctly say the S endings. We have three ways we pronounce the letter S. It can be a Z, as in dogs. We can say cats, the S is air. Or we can say roses, where we add a syllable to make the word pronounceable. This S, cats, you want to think of as a beautiful ocean breeze. The air is just flowing out. The Z comes from the throat, where you are vibrating your vocal folds, and is another vibration depending on the ending of the word that we're working with. So, why is this S so important? Both in writing and speaking, the letter S is crucial for plural nouns, such as dogs and cats, possession, such as John's dog, Pat's cat, meaning something belongs to someone or something. It's also how we form the third person present tense of our verbs. He likes cookies, she bakes bread, etc. It's also the fourth category here is how we indicate many but not all of our contractions, such as it's a nice day, he's my student, she's very sweet. So if we were to record you speaking English for the entire day, you would have used these S's hundreds of times. Perhaps thousands if you speak a lot. So, if you mispronounce the S, you can accidentally hit the wrong word, such as peas, the green vegetable, where the S vibrates, a piece of cake, where the C is an S sound, or peace on earth, which we all wish for. So, you will accidentally hit a word you didn't intend to hit if you don't keep in mind the three different pronunciations. Now, suppose we want to compliment Bella, and we want to say Bella has beautiful green eyes. If by accident we say ice, where the sound does not vibrate, we will have hit the wrong word. We also will have made a grammar mistake, and unfortunately, Bella will not get the compliment that we would like to give her on her beautiful green eyes. There is another error that can take place if you aren't mindful of the S, and that is that you can make an unintentional grammar mistake, right? If you say two pair shoe, he like cookies, etc., etc. So if you say she collect ring and bracelet, your pronunciation mistake, because you didn't give us the S on the plural, has now become a very serious grammar mistake. Now let's take a situation to imagine that you go shopping, and this is a huge mistake, but we'll use it as an example. and you say that you would like to get 2 pair of shoes. The salesgirl knows that you want 2 pairs of shoes, but she won't correct you. Number 1, it's not her job to correct you. Number 2, it could be rude. But number 3, most likely she won't correct you because she's really interested in getting your money. But you see the point where you did not say any of your target words. Now, if you ask 5 Americans today, what are the rules for the pronunciation of the letter S at the ends of words? Most likely the answer you're going to get is, that's just the way we say the word. Most Americans have been using English all their lives. They're employing these rules, but they probably never really learned the rule the way we will present the rule today. So if you want a user-friendly example of how it works, we can say he likes his Ferrari, but he loves his wife, and he brings her roses every week. So likes is the verb, loves another verb, brings, present tense verb also, roses, the plural of rose, and there you have a great example of the correct use of the S. And if you're wondering, there really is a formula. It's almost mathematical to give us the basis for this rule. And the formula is very simple. Vibration follows vibration, such as loves, V vibrates, uses the voice box, therefore the S vibrates. No vibration follows no vibration, such as likes. The K does not use the voice box, therefore the S is all air. So you can see that our rule is supported. Finally, add is to make the word pronounceable, roses, and there you have it. Again, vibration follows vibration, no vibration follows no vibration, and add is when necessary to make the word pronounceable. But here's the way you have to approach this use of this rule. You have to first consider the sound that comes before the S. Not the spelling, but the sound of the base before you decide which pronunciation of the S. In the case of dogs, g-g-g, voice box is being used. We call it also a voice sound. Therefore, the S must sound like a Z. If you say cats, the letter T, if you test on your throat, T does not vibrate. Therefore, the S again is that beautiful ocean breeze, cats, and again, roses. So, if you're wondering why we don't say rose, we can't say it as an air S. It's unpronounceable. Rose, impossible. We can't say rose, kind of choking through that, totally unpronounceable. And that's why we add this syllable is, roses. So let's begin with our categories. And here we have plural nouns. Perfect example is the word shoes. If you're wondering why we add a Z, we have to go to one of the most important parts of pronunciation, which is the rule that all vowels vibrate. Any vowel sound we make, and English has about 15 vowel sounds, forces us to use the voice box. So ah, e, oo, ow, oi, any of our vowel sounds force a Z. All vowels vibrate, the formula. Vibration follows vibration. In the word shoes, you're saying a very strong oo sound, and therefore we have to say shoes. Okay? So if we trace the vibration rule for plural nouns and look around the room, tables, chairs, pencils, pens, doors, guys, girls, because those words end in a vibrating sound, the S will also vibrate. We're merely keeping the vibration going, okay? The next category is possession, when we want to indicate that something belongs to someone or something. We would say Evan's pencil, the pencil that belongs to Evan. Because the end consonant, n, vibrates, we would say a Z, Evan's pencil. It would be the same if we were to say Gabrielle's pencil. L vibrates, L, Z. We're preserving the vibration, therefore, Gabrielle's pencil. Another example, Sue's pencil. Similar to shoes, all vowels vibrate, and the S must be pronounced as a Z. Okay, so here is our rule in action. Vibration follows vibration. Now we come to the third category of our wonderful rules for the pronunciation of the S, which is the third person present tense of the verbs. In my experience, this is the category where most of the mistakes are made. And that includes every foreign language student that I've worked with over the years. Okay, first of all, you have to have an S in a present tense verb, even if it's an irregular verb, such as has or does. You must put an S on the end of a present tense verb. Okay? These verbs are the heartbeat of the language, or the action words of the language. If you don't put the S, once again, your simple pronunciation mistake has now transformed into a very serious grammar mistake. Now, if the word already ends in certain sounds, such as he raises chickens, back to our is rule, we would add the IZ. If you say he chooses to raise chickens, same rule. If you want to give another example, she passes the school every day. Again, we are listening for this vibration. Now, you can turn down the buzz. You don't say, she passes z, like you're electrocuting yourself. You have to hear the buzz. You can turn down the buzz, but you cannot turn it off. Okay, so we're listening for that vibrating sound. So let's take another look at our original sample sentence. He likes his Ferrari, but he loves his wife, and he brings her roses every week. There you see, again, vibration follows vibration. No vibration follows no vibration, and add is to make the word pronounceable. For irregular verbs, he does a good job, he goes to work, he drives a Ferrari. Again, if you are not very mindful of the S, your innocent, simple, perhaps accidental verb mistake in pronunciation becomes a gigantic mistake in grammar. Okay, we come now to the fourth category where our vibration rule holds firmly. Of course, not all contractions end in a sound that demands a Z, but not all contractions will have that. But if you say, it's a nice day, it's, the T doesn't vibrate, so you don't need to vibrate the S. But if you say, he's a nice man, the vowel E makes us use a Z. She's very sweet. Here's a formula for the letter S. Again, he's, she's, here's. We're listening for that vibration. Okay, so now we're going to come to these same categories when the S does not vibrate. Officially, it's called an unvoiced S or voiceless S. My students and I usually work with vibration and no vibration. And just for a little extra information, if you're still learning this S rule, it's very helpful to put these little marks. 3 marks for air, a Z when it's pronounced as a Z, or you can put IZ under the end when we need the is sound. Okay? So, it does help a lot. I use it myself. So again, here's our rule. No vibration follows no vibration. Air goes to air. So let's look at our 4 categories and see if this rule will still hold firm. Okay, we start with plural nouns. So we can say cats, tops. Anything that doesn't have an air, that does not vibrate, we'll keep that S going. Okay, if we consider some very common everyday nouns that you all have to use, we would say coffee cups. P doesn't vibrate, the S is air. Plates, T doesn't vibrate, the S again is air. Books, K doesn't vibrate, S is air. Or if we say the United States, again the T doesn't vibrate, no vibration follows no vibration. The correct pronunciation is United States. Okay, let's consider the second category, possession, in which the sound S would be all air once again. So we would say Mike's car, Pat's car, Philip's book. Okay, I know this might be a little challenging at first because many of you have studied grammar, but you did not study pronunciation. And this is something that might fill in some of the gaps for you to keep you from making an unintentional grammar mistake, hitting the wrong word, or confusing your listeners. Okay, I know it is a little overwhelming, but with a little bit of practice, and perhaps keeping this in sight, English will be much more joyful for you, I promise. Okay, now we move to the third category of our rule, which is the present tense of verbs, he, she, and it. Again, we go back to the base of the word. You would say he eats cookies, she makes coffee, the dog jumps high. Remember, you're looking at the sound before you add the S to decide whether you will add the S or not. If you say accidentally, he like his Ferrari, but he love his wife, and he bring her rose every week, you've made a gigantic mistake only because you didn't employ these rules for the ending S sounds. Okay? Now we're at the fourth category of our formula, which is the contractions. Many but not all contractions can end in an S. For those that do, our rule will still hold strongly. If we say, what's wrong, common sentence, T doesn't vibrate, S does not vibrate. If you say, it's a nice day, T doesn't vibrate, S doesn't vibrate. We're going to keep that S going as air. Again, the ocean breeze. The most complicated of these rules comes to when we add the is or this extra syllable, when we have to look at the language as a whole. Is vibrates, of course, but when do we use it? If we say kisses, we would need to say is. We could not possibly say kiss. We can't say kiss. It would be kind of choke us ourselves. So we add the is. Kisses, roses, churches, wishes, bridges, judges, beiges. These are special cases, but they do demand the extra syllable. Okay? So in the plural, the possessive, the verbs, it's the same thing with the is. So if we say the plural nouns, the speeches are fascinating. We can't say speeches, etc. The dresses are gorgeous. The watches are expensive. Okay, we can't say it any other way. We can't use the air S. We can't use the regular Z. So again, we make the word pronounceable with the adding of the is. Now, does this rule work for possession? Absolutely. We can say Bess's book, meaning the book which belongs to Bess. Okay, we can say the rose's fragrance, the fragrance which belongs to the rose. Okay, so on the board you have pretty much the entire story of these rules. Okay, so we'll consider these examples. He judges the contest, she changes her mind, it buzzes when you press the button. And there we have the is rule for verbs. Judges, changes, buzzes. Okay, our goal is to be understood and respected when we use this language, and this is a very important element of helping you to have that success. Okay, as for the contractions, which is the fourth category, there are very few words that end in is, but you would have something like Madge is coming over for dinner tonight, meaning that Madge is coming to dinner. So the rule holds firm. Plural nouns, possession. Verbs, contractions. Okay, so please don't forget these four categories, the three pronunciations of the S. I hope that these rules help you enjoy English more. Knowledge is power, and when you apply these rules, I'm sure you'll really enjoy the entire experience in a different way than perhaps before. So if we go back to our original sample sentence, he likes his Ferrari, but he loves his wife, and he brings her roses every week. And to end this session today on a very positive note, we have an anonymous writer wrote this beautiful old saying, "The fragrance always lingers on the hand that gives the rose." Thank you very much.